And we're live. Woo!
Live on both.
Live on both.
I had you were coming on. I juggled. I'm a juggle. Welcome to episode 22 of the Coaching Mindset podcast. That's not going to work. It's at the bottom. Just leave it. This is the exact conversation we had last week too.
Oh, that's right. Oops.
So episode 22 of the Coaching Mindset podcast. I'm Liam O'Neill, the Prove It guy.
And I'm Gary Wallace from Core NI, Core Kids, the whole lot.
From all the cores.
From all the cores.
And what is our episode called today?
Our episode is called The Great Outdoors because
We're outside.
we're outside. We're outside my back garden here.
Yeah.
There are my little newly laid. Well, last year I decided to make my garden a little bit more practical for myself, but mainly Josh. But
For laziness is what you meant. So there's not real grass. Basically what he's saying is he doesn't have real grass.
There's not real grass, but it was all stones, and Josh used to play, and he used to have one path of like flags of like pavement started the whole way up, and like that was his only game he played. He tried to score a goal. These nets are behind us.
I don't think they're in shot.
Mine was in the shot to try and move it in. I don't like the way my camera's sitting there.
Check it.
I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna check it.
So we're calling it the Great Outdoors because we're outside and we spend a lot of our time outside anyway. So we think that people should spend time outside. He's very excited.
Outside.
We also are going to talk about fear a wee bit as well, because when we were talking about being outside, a few people talked about like doing their sports outside and the fact that they have a bit of fear of failing their sports or falling and getting injured and that sort of thing. So first of all, I think we should focus on why you should be outside. So in your humble opinion, why should people go outside?
Why not? No,
And
off. I think just even like when you look outside is one thing, but when you come outside, like when I wake up in the morning now and I can come out and I open up my back door and I see and hear all of this, and it's a great way to start the day. It's a great way actually for you to get outside and listen and just pause, because when we get up in the morning, you know, if you turn on the radio or if the kids are running around, or you know, it's all just crazy go 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 go.
yeah,
Whereas outside, it's nothing. It's just peaceful, and you can relax. So that's one thing, anyway, definitely.
as long as you live somewhere that's peaceful and relaxing.
Aye, well, true. Yes, I know, but
But even just getting outside gets you away from all of the technology and all the stuff that you're going to deal with all day. Just taking a moment just to look outside, and especially in our country, like we don't get much chance. This is one of the best things about how crap our winter and all is even this is an amazing day.
I know.
And in other countries, they'd be thinking, sure, it's freezing. But this is a great day, so you get to go out and appreciate the weather that we have, so you can get some vitamin D in you from the sun, and just taking a wee moment for yourself. So again, going outside, a lot of people would say to me that they don't have time to go outside. They have to go, like, the beach is too far away, or the closest park is a mile away. But outside can literally be outside your door, and just being outside in general.
I think too the fact that you said even if you do live in a busy area or a busy place, just it's another reason to get up that bit earlier and appreciate it, because if you're up earlier before anybody else, before there's cars going or there's noise or shops, or even if you live in a town, you'll get up and just stand outside, open up a window, do just whenever, maybe 5 o'clock in the morning or 5:30, and just do it one day and just see how it is. Just stand there, because there's nothing better. I'm very lucky the sun rises over here.
Even you can just get up earlier and go for a drive if it is a couple miles to, like, Gorchin Glens, for example. I spent a lot of the time at the weekend in Gorchin Glens. It's about 8 miles away, so you could get up earlier and just drive there. We went into the lakes and just faffed about and went up and wandered through streams and just seen nothing really. You're just looking at trees and nature and enjoying it that way. So I think you can make a bit of effort. It doesn't have to be every day, but you can make a bit of effort to get outside. And then when you're older, you'll not complain about children not wanting to go outside, because you've taught them that outside is great. Like, why would they go outside if you won't even go outside? So that's what I think is, plus just all the health benefits of getting clear air.
We haven't even touched on I just love the outdoors, and I think that's a good point you made too. Is you see now a lot of people are out walking the roads and running in this good weather.
Yeah.
My point is, why not drive to Gortin Glens, or why not go somewhere like a lake, like even there at Loch McCrory, which I know we're all talking about Oma here, but it's only up the road. It's very easy. It's easy to park. There's loads of parking spaces, and you can get on. And literally, once you go around the corner, you just see nothing but trees and lakes.
Yeah. And everywhere's going to have that. You're going to have somewhere near you.
Yeah.
Just Google it. You're going to have somewhere near you that is open, that is a park that's clean, and somewhere you can just go and be one with nature.
Be one. I know, because last Wednesday as well, we couldn't go this Wednesday because I hurt my groin playing football. But myself, my mate Ryan Maven, who's just loves running marathons now, takes it up. But he lives out by Knockmoyle, and we got up.
Go visit him.
We go 6 o'clock. We could try a group.
I'll not be there. I don't run.
6 o'clock in the morning. Just drove out to his house. Took me 5-10 minutes, not even. And literally we just ran around the roads of Knockmoyle, and so much better than running around, for me anyway, it was running around the roads around here, because not one car was on the road. Well, not going to be many at that time in the morning.
Yeah.
But just field after field, just nicer to run. And
it's easier to switch off too when there's nothing around you, there's no people, and everybody's out. And when you do meet, they're doing the same sort of thing. They're walking around with no real agenda or plan, or just out to walk, so nobody's thinking, like, why are you wearing a pair of shorts and I'm wearing a pair of jeans? I'm just like an adult today. Everybody's out just doing their own wee thing and mind their own wee business, so that you don't have to worry about anything, and then you're just getting away from the cars and the emissions from the cars and all that stuff. I think if you're going to exercise, you want to be exercising in the clearest air you can get, so why run at the side of a road beside a load of traffic and cars? Maybe that's the only time you can get to run, but maybe you can, like, once a week, get up earlier, or go at the weekend and go somewhere that's clear and gives you like a nicer surroundings and keeps you running further.
Yeah. No, you might have to plan it, or it could just be spontaneous. You could have it fixed in your head, right? The next good day, I'm just going to go and do it. And it might be the start of something to turn around, you know what? That was actually unbelievable.
Yeah.
That was really good. I'm going to do that. Because I'm very fortunate. I was up again in Rosnella this weekend. And for me, it's just perfect. Because it just, first of all, we mobile home up there, and you can't really be confined. And if you're only up there with family or friends, and you're always talking to people, you're always in the room together. But it's just, see, when the weather's good, the door never closes, because you're in and out. You can go onto the grass, you can go down to the beach, you can just move. And bare feet again. Always
nearly bare feet.
Nearly bare feet. But just moving around, and even, that's the thing, I don't put on a pair of shoes when I go up there.
Yeah.
Just walk, even on the tarmac, because it's not even that far. You're going to be walking on the road.
And you can
So
rock
it's
like a
very
wee cat whenever it's warm.
But the odd stone gets you do, like, I'm no cool man walking. If the odd stone comes, it's like, yes, I felt that one.
It's even like, we're talking about getting outdoors, and we've talked a lot about fitness and sport and health and everything, but just for your own mental health, you don't have to actually do anything. Just getting out and just being away from your normal day-to-day life is going to help you. It's going to help with anxiety, stress, fear, phobias. It's going to help with all that, because you're just relaxing and switching off from whatever's causing you stress. Then you can turn around and go back into your house. So it doesn't have to be sport related. Like, even if you're going to go just for a wee walk, you can still drive to somewhere that's a nice wee park and walk around that. So it doesn't have to be fitness.
It'd be more your field as well. Like, I find there, people say meditation and trying to zone out and be reflective. It's nearly like a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
But some people nearly force it. Whereas, like, the other day, I was on the beach and literally just stopped and thought nothing, but just was watching the waves. So if you don't have to go and be one with nature and connect. Literally, as you say, just go and stand there, go for a walk. Just don't even think about anything. Just try and switch off. I know it could be very hard for some people, but what the point I'm trying to make is, you don't go there and go, okay, I'm going to be one with nature, and you go up and you're like, this is nicely, don't feel like one with nature. You don't have to feel anything.
Yeah.
Just go and get outside and just
The less you feel the better.
Yeah, don't force yourself as such to try and get into the zone. Is that something that you would try with your practices or tell people to do?
I think it's important to just go out and do, like again, I've said it before, is do nothing. So you just go out to do nothing. You might have an hour to kill, so you just go and kill it in nature. You just walk around and do nothing, and then know that that's what your plan is. So you don't come home thinking, right, I just wasted an hour. I should have been doing this or that or whatever. Or you're not, when you're away, thinking I should really be going and doing something else, or somebody else might need me or whatever. It's just time to recharge your batteries, and without any thinking. Like if you think about, like we use the saying, recharge your batteries all the time, but whenever you do that, you don't plug in the batteries to recharge and then sit and watch them and will them to get better. You just plug them in and forget about it. So the same idea, you're just plugging yourself into nature and then wandering about for an hour and then coming back. Like I very, very rarely do any real hectic training in nature. Like I train in my garden, but I don't go out specifically to run or go for a long walk or a hike. Or I just go and wander about and see where I end up. Like the last day we walked up, I ended up in the middle of the stream because it was the only way across. We had two choices. One was a road, which cars be on, and one was get back onto the other side of the stream. But to do that, you had to go through the stream. So I didn't want to go on the road because it was taken away from my nature. I was like,
you were really connected.
I kind of lost. I'm like, God, I'm lost. Right, if you look to the right, you can see the cars. But if I go into the left, then
Bear Grylls, it just.
Aye. So I just went through the stream, and when you're either in wee shoes like these, or in your bare feet, then it doesn't matter when your feet get wet.
Yeah, true. I think it's basically it just reminded me of a song when he says about like you felt you got lost. I remember when we were younger, I used to love taking Josh to the Gorching Glens because literally we would be on the track and we might step a foot off into the forest, and he thought like the Gruffalo was there. You know, like his imagination just went wild, and he thought we were army through the trees. Literally, like you could step 3 steps and you'd be back onto the track, and maybe another few, and you'd be on a car park again. But for a kid, even to go and let them experience that, let them go wild with their imagination.
Yeah,
you know, if you think about when you were younger, playing in the field or climbing a tree or seeing something, and in your head you thought like this is the Amazon, like this is huge. When you look at it, there's like literally a stone throw of an area that you were actually working in, but you might have spent all day in there.
Yeah, you don't have to leave it for kids too, like you're saying about the kids thinking the Gruffalo's there. I like to walk through forests and places and imagine what it would be like whenever like barbarians were walking to battle. So they're walking through this forest and they're like, so most guys will do it.
Why you do that?
Just from my imagination, I just like to imagine. I think I would have been a deadly barbarian. I think that's when I should have been alive, running about. Like, in saying that, I have never camped out in my life ever. Like, as much as I love nature, I've never camped in it.
There you go, test this summer.
No,
why?
Doesn't appeal to me at all. It just doesn't.
I love hard camping.
It's the same as like I don't really like staying away places that I could just drive home from. Doesn't make sense to me. I just drive home. Like, oh, we get a wee lovely hotel with a nice bed and all. Like, I have a nice bed at home.
I know what you mean.
I can do whatever I'm doing and drive home.
It's nice. It's that comfort too. Like whenever you go in, because I know I'm at my house when I wake up the next morning. No, definitely.
But I think
from nature.
But I think whenever you walk, guys definitely do it. I've never really noticed too many females doing it. So if you do it, let me know. But guys generally pick up a stick. We normally have a stick, like we're walking through, and then we're like, this stick's like terrible, but we always have a stick. And then we like walk around. So if you're walking through with a stick and you pretend you're a barbarian, like stick becomes your sword or your battle axe. But I don't often see females picking a stick unless they're terrified. Then they're like, "What do you got the stick for?" So the reasoning is different. Oh, what if a dog comes? I can like shoo it away, and I'm like, that's what I have the stick
you're a stick
for as well. I'm not a barbarian. I'm not Conan walking around.
Yeah. And then you mentioned then too about your training. Outdoors. It was funny this morning. I slept into
To what time?
6. The class is at 6.
Did they work on their own?
I'll be honest here. Here's what happened. So I charged the phone last night.
Class are watching.
And the class are watching. I
Which
thought I had the charger in. I did have the charger in, but it was a cheap ass charger. Didn't charge my phone, so my
Nice.
phone died. And literally, I was woken up from my sister who was at the class knocking my door. So, oops. But literally, we got there anyway, and it wasn't pretty off day. So we did a wee bit in the gym, and at the very end, then I was like, "Look, we've missed 10 minutes or so here, so we're going to go straight outside." So we got kettlebells. Literally, I did a circuit. It was swing, goblet squat, press up on the curb, box jump, I think a lunge and a bend over rope, whatever it was some combination. Finished with a run around the building. But literally, we were outside, and just people's just whole attitude and everything, just being outside and recovering outside even is a big one. So like whenever you've done a big heavy session, if you've done a session and you're in the gym and you're gasping for that air and it's sweaty and you're all like compact, whereas if you smash out a workout then outside, you know, you turn around and it's like, it's nice, you closing your eyes, getting the sun in your face, getting that breath, you just feel more energized.
It's better. It's why, like, I work with a lot of people that have SAD, seasonal affective disorder. So where, like, whenever it's dark and stuff, it makes them sad. So just getting outside, even if you don't have that, getting outside, like for people that do have it, when they're outside, they feel so much better. Whenever the sun's out, they feel so much better. So if you don't have that, just the mental effect that it has on you, and like you're talking about training, even just sitting out, like my dad does a lot of gardening, and his attitude is completely different whenever it's sunny than it does whenever it's raining or not as good weather. So just getting outside at all is going to be beneficial in general for you. I think no matter what science you look at or what sport you do or whatever, being outside is going to be better.
I suppose we could look into the research, but if you just think about everything, like how longer do you sit outside talking to people when the weather's good? You know, rather than sitting in a house because you think, oh, I need to get up and do something, or I'm distracted by a phone call, or somebody's here, or I need to get this. Whereas you're outside, you're not close to anything.
Yeah.
You're sitting there, you just chat, and then like we're doing now.
Yeah, except we're videoing it.
Say we're videoing it too. But yeah, so I think that's outdoors. I think overall, get
outside. That's the gist
Get
of it.
outside. I know it's probably people are going, duh, but just hopefully spark something for somebody to say, go for it. And as well too, what a country we live in. To go in some of the places that I hadn't even seen. Like last year, me and Josh, we did a camp. Went down the west coast. So we started in Rosnella and we went down, right down Sligo. We went like Westport, Galway, right down into Dingle. Like I'd never been to Kerry, and he was like, I was like, we're going. And Dingle itself, we seen
Dingle's
Fungi.
lovely.
We seen Fungi, the dolphin. But just even the camp out there, and we got an unbelievable day. Like it was unreal.
Yeah.
So this year we decided we're going to do it again, and we're going to go down to Cork, and maybe we're going to go to the other side of the country. And like that was 4 or 5 days. I think not even like 3 or 4 days. And what we seen and did, like it was going, oh look at that, and even at times was the two of us spending together, and it wasn't wasted sitting in airports doing this. It was right on the doorstep.
And again, it is a beautiful place to live. Like you can go. Even that, I posted a video recently where Kathy was doing some like mobility across the Gorchin Lake, and the drone flies over, and a few people that I know from England were texting me, asking me where I was. Like, where are you on holidays? You never said you were going on holidays, and I'm like, that's 8 miles up the road. So it just looks like the country looks completely different whenever it's sunny, but everyone will be the same. So get outside and tag the Coaching Mindset podcast.
Yeah.
With your
Plus,
photos.
I was actually, I don't know, I was flicking through some photos the other day, and I seen even then when it was snowing, me and my mate walked up around the Gorchin Glens, and literally took this different path. And there's a picture of me with this like humongous tree, and it's just covered in snow, and I'm like about that size, like tail, and I was just like you know, you think you think that's like in Canada or America or somewhere, but no, we got that shit here too.
Yeah.
So so the fear actually came from a phone call I took before this. So Charlie, this is for you. So Charlie or Berg as we call her, it's her nickname Berg. Because it went from Charlie to Charlotte to Cartersburg, then to Berg.
Seems like a natural transition.
Yeah. So, friend of mine, Charlie, anyway, who...
See, I would have ended up calling Charlie Willy Wonka. That's where I would have went.
Nah, but that's you. But anyway, Charlie got big into cycling there, and I think she had a bad enough fall, but she loved it. She loved the social side of it. She loved everything. She got the fall. She got the fall. She fell off the bike, and she talked to me. She says, "Oh, maybe you could talk in your podcast about overcoming fear." I was like, "Oh, funny enough, there's a guy who hosts a podcast with me who'd be able to talk a bit about that." So, Liam, how would you get over fear? So let's take, well, we can take fear in general, but for example, let's take Charlie. So we say somebody has had a fear, a bad injury in sport, or has something happened to them. How can they get over that?
The first thing to do with any fear at all is to work out what you're actually afraid of. So falling off a bike, would you be afraid of falling off your bike if I had set up a mattress that you were going to fall on and be comfortable? So is it the fear of falling, or is it the fear of what happens when you fall? So if you fall off your bike and get injured, so it's not the fear of the fall of the bike, because you can just trip over yourself when you're walking in the street and get injured. So it's learning what you're actually afraid of, because again, if we just took the falling off a bike as an example, and we focus solely on falling off a bike, then falling off a bike should be something people are afraid of, because you can get injured. Whereas if we take away your fear of falling off a bike, then you would be more reckless, because you wouldn't be worried. But if you're actually afraid of what will happen if you fall, then that gives you a better focus as to what you can actually work on. So then if it's an injury, is it like if you've never been injured before, is it just the fear of pain? Like you actually have a very low pain threshold and that's what you're worried about? Or is it because you've had an injury and you know, like whenever I tore my shoulder, I used to be afraid of 360s with a mace, because I thought that movement could potentially wreck my shoulder. So I avoided it. I didn't do it. Instead of breaking it down, I'm not suggesting you should break it down and fall lightly off your bike and then get better at it.
Yeah.
But
even simple things into even likes of speed. Like, you know, you might be afraid of the speed, and then that's, I think, maybe what happens with some people is you maybe get more anxious. You actually increase your risk of falling.
So you could practice, like say if it was speed, for example, if we just stick with the bike analogy, you could practice reaction drills, same as you would do in any sport. So you stand and your friend, somebody throws a ball at you. You stand with your eyes closed, they shout go, and you open your eye and catch the ball. So they shout go as they let it go. So they don't say go then throw. They throw and they shout go as it leaves their hand. So you open and you react, and you either move out of the way or you catch it. So a lot of boxers would do it. So then you know that your reactions are good. What most people, whenever they're doing rallying or biking or motocross that I've worked with, they're afraid of the speed because of their reaction time, not the speed. They love the actual speed, and when they're in the car as a co-pilot or something like that, they love the speed. But it's their fear of their lack of trust in their reaction. So why not do external reaction drills?
Yeah.
So then you can react faster. Then again, if it's a bike, you need to understand your terrain. Like you need to understand that, like if you're going to do a trail, it's going to be bumpy. There's a good chance you're going to come off because it's bumpy, so it has to be sort of expected. But it's up to you to understand how your bike works and how the terrain works and what you're like and reacting. Like I remember when I first learned how to ride a bike, and we used to drive up curbs, and my brother and Mings, they used to bounce up the curbs really clean, and I used to hit the curb and like I just hit it hard enough that I'd like stumble across. And eventually my brother asked me, like, why did I not pull the bike and try to, I didn't have a clue. I just saw them do it and thought it was just drive straight in. So understand your terrain, understand what you're doing. So whenever it comes to fear, the first question you have to ask yourself is, what is it I'm actually afraid of? Like, why is this fear being created, and how do I physically feel? Like, do I feel butterflies? Do I feel sweaty? What do I feel like? If your fear makes you feel sweaty, anxious, and like butterfly, like you're going to be sick, then you're going to become more distracted from the goal that you have, which is not falling off the bike, to the point that you're going to focus so much on the fact that you might fall off the bike that you're going to fall off the bike. It's back to that real basic thing, don't think of a pink elephant.
Yeah.
90% of people listening are thinking pink elephant, and the other 10 are from Oma and they're thinking of the old restaurant, Pink Elephant. So whenever your focus is that way, it's the same as whenever everyone's been in the car with someone that's just passed their test, and you'd be thinking every time there's a pothole, you'd be thinking they're aiming for the pothole, but because they're trying to avoid and they're so focused on avoiding the pothole, they end up driving into it because that's where their focus leads them. And then over time you realize that you don't, like, you get better at driving, and then that doesn't start happening. So whenever the first thing to do, I've said this 3 times already. First thing to do is work out what is it you are actually afraid of. Like, what are you afraid of? So that would be the first thing. And then if it is an injury or you don't want to get injured, then start to implement things like doing reactive drills, doing easy trails, getting someone, like there is an OMA anyway, there's a mountain bike group somewhere, I know.
Yeah, the Gorts and Glen started.
Aye. So they like going to groups like that and asking them for help, going to running groups. If you're afraid to get out running, go and ask them. If you're afraid of getting your kid out into sport because they're terrible at sport, then ask someone like youre. So ask the professionals that know what they're doing. So then that takes away a bit of the fear because you've someone that's actually been through it.
I know. It seems like it's like with most things, a lot of people say, "No, I'm not doing that because I'm afraid of that."
Yeah.
It's acknowledge the fear first, but everything is like break it down. So break down and ask yourselves why. Why are you afraid?
Yeah.
And then how. So how can I fix that fear? Okay, right, I can't do that. So can I do it another way? So break it down until eventually you go, right, well, I'll start here, and then I'll go there the next thing, and then I'll ask the question, and then before you know it, I've answered that question there about, am I actually afraid of falling the bike, or now I've trained myself to be more reactive. I know that it may happen, and even then getting yourself, it's like when you teach kids be afraid a lot of trying new things, but until you actually, get them to try it or get them exposed to that failure, and actually going then, well, how bad was that?
Yeah.
Especially like having a fall or having that experience, just to go over and tell them, look, well, actually, how was that? How do you feel now? And even sometimes what I would do is plant a seed for them too, and just say, look, do you think it's getting easier or is it getting sore? A majority of the time, it's just the initial impact of a bang, but that's all they remember.
A lot of people are shocked when they fall or whenever something goes wrong, and it's like stairs. A lot of people have walked down a stair in the dark, think there's one extra stair, and then they hit it and it shocks the whole body. You don't then avoid stairs the rest of your life because one time it was shocking. You understand, well, I have to do that. So whenever you're thinking about fear, a lot of the time people are, like, say if you're afraid of being in groups or being around a lot of people, and then there is always times where you've done that, like you might have had to go to Holy Communion or you might have had to go to a party of someone in your family. You had to spend time with a group of people that you did not want to be there, not because you don't like them, but because you're afraid of it or your anxiety is social related. But then people go, oh, it was wild hard. I had to spend time with these people and I just didn't like it. It was horrible. I didn't like it. And they overlooked the fact that they did it. Yeah. And they were able to do it. So if you start to tune into that, so what are you afraid of? Being around crowds. Have you ever been around a crowd where you've had no choice, like at work or at school or at something, and you go, actually, yeah, I had to go to Holy Communion. It was on recently, so I'll just use it as an example. So she had to go to Holy Communion. You had to be surrounded by people. You didn't like it. How long did you do it for? Oh, it was a couple hours. It was hectic. So you managed to do it. So what? There was something stronger than your fear. There was a why you had to do it. Who you were doing it for was stronger than the fear for you to run away and hide. Yeah. So then just realizing that you can do that helps you overcome the fear as well. That's not going to help with falling off a bike.
No. Well, the other way to look at it, and it's a good point you make, and it goes back to goal setting. So is your why strong enough? So say for example you wanted to get back on your bike and you decided, you know what, look, I have a massive fear of this now, but I'm going to do something to get me over my fear but to benefit others. So I might do a crazy cycle for charity, or I might do something that's really going to benefit somebody else, or something that's going to be a strong why for you. And I think the big point then you said too is build yourself up to that. So for example, if it is a fear, say cycling, you've fallen off your bike, don't think about, oh my god, there's a big 60-mile cycle now coming up, I'd love to get, but I'm a bit anxious.
What if I fall once a mile? That's 60 falls.
But then you go, I'm going to cycle down to the shop here instead. So you cycle down to the shop and then you go, no, you know what, I'm going to cycle now, and you're even on the pavement doing this, and then you eventually go, no, I'm going to cycle a wee bit further.
Are you allowed to cycle on the pavement?
Well, there's pavement, isn't it?
There's like maybe.
But you know what I mean? It's
in
just maybe your fear is like off cars coming and you feel so close to hang and you don't have that confidence of that surrounding area, and you maybe go and cycle in a quieter place, you cycle on a track, you cycle somewhere, and just build that up. So rather than going, oh shit, there's a 60-mile cycle on Sunday, say, you know what, on Sunday I'm actually going to take it nice and easy and I'm going to cycle around the park.
Yeah.
And then you can slowly build that. So you maybe turn around, and if that doesn't make you feel anxious, then that's a good start.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
just
when you come
building
back,
on- yeah.
reflect on that and go, and maybe don't, and you probably know this more than me, but don't get caught down in an easy trap. Oh, that was good. I like that. That's comfortable. I'll go and do that. Set yourself then the next
Yeah.
goal. The next goal.
It's realizing again how your mind's working and why it's working the way it's working, so that you're able to achieve any of these goals or dreams or whatever without doing it in fear. Like I do know people that have achieved mammoth tasks, like say they do a cycle and it's 100-mile cycle and it's a mammoth task, and you'd be like, how was that? And they're like, awful. It was like the worst experience of my life. Like, why did you do it? Oh, I just had to. If you realize that I think if you get to the point where you're going to definitely do something, like you feel like you have to do it and it's going to be done, you may as well start looking for a reason that's going to be enjoyable. Like if I ever had the reason to run a half marathon or a marathon or whatever, I know I could run a marathon if I had to, but I would hate it. I would hate every bit of it. So I would have to, if there was a point where there was no point, I had to do it, and there was no way of getting out of it, then I would have to find a reason. And all I might find is, right, that's going to build my mental toughness. Like whenever, if you think about a boxer who runs the roads, the running, like, there'll be people that disagree with this, but I don't see long distance running as something that is needed for boxing. Sprinting and things like that would be good for the explosive energy and the explosive power, but one of the main things for running the road, and again if you disagree you can let me know what you think, is mental endurance.
Yeah.
Like a boxer has to box for up to 13 rounds and getting punched in the head and everything, so if they have to run every day 5 mile even, and they just rain, sleet, snow, whatever, you just get out, run, the mental toughness that is building you, so then you can incorporate that into every other aspect of your training. So for me, a lot of people could do a marathon if they put a bit of training in physically.
Yeah.
But mentally is where, like, saying to people you're going to run however far a marathon is, like 21 point something or 26, whatever it is. Anthony did it. Anthony and Cleopatra, they invented marathons. They did invent marathons, didn't they? He had to run and deliver a note for Cleopatra.
Well, not the guy who ran back from 300. Things.
No, that wasn't it. Pretty sure it was Anthony. It was Anthony. Anthony was delivering a message.
Down the road.
Anthony and Cleopatra. The 300, you're the guy with the deadly voice and the one eye.
Yeah.
From 300.
Yeah, I had to run. Yes, I suppose that's what I would do. We'll check that out.
Let us know.
Let us know.
People that actually run. So I'm not against running. I think it's brilliant. Like,
but I think it's right. It's like fun. I was listening to a book there, listening to a book on audio, but it was about the lessons that sport teaches, and it was a guy who was like draft pick for number 1 in high school, and he went to college, got first pick, but just didn't get on. The team manager that recruited him left. All this that didn't work with him, but he stuck it out. He had good guidance. He persevered. He didn't miss practice. He put in extra practice. He knew he should have been getting a chance. He wasn't getting a chance, but he never quit. And he says he had this mental toughness, and the whole point of it was that it wasn't he was doing it mental toughness for the sport at the time, but it's what he learned after sport, and how he was able to take that on. So, you know, you see, and this is a big thing when sports people, they get, you know, you think of being a professional sports person is the best thing. Like the high number of those guys that go into depression, get gambling related, drink related, drug related, because they don't have the coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
Because maybe they got it their own way, and this was their sole focus. So, you know, would you say like a boxer running through might have a strong mental mentality, but if you're just solely focused on boxing,
you need to understand how to take it into your real life. Like that's why a lot of fighters, you'll see a lot of fighters go through with a really good record, like they're 10-0 and things like that, and then you look back at their final record after they've eventually been retired, and the record's wrecked. They've lost loads of it because they don't know what to do with themselves, so they end up taking more fights. They're like, oh, I still want it. Like I love Rocky, the movie Rocky, and Rocky Balboa.
Lessons from Rocky.
But that's what it is. In Rocky Balboa, he comes back because he felt he didn't achieve everything he wanted to achieve, and he wanted to prove that he still had it. And spoiler alert, but he gets beat by the guy, but he feels like he did everything that he could, and he feels that he put that to bed, and then he moved on, and that was brilliant. But a lot of people don't get that opportunity. They go on and they feel they have more to give. Like I was chatting to a few guys that were playing for top level Gaelic teams, and then after I'm like, what do you do with yourself then? You're used to the buzz and the whole unit that your team is in, and then you go in and people in the town are like, oh my god, it's Jimmy or whoever, and they're all excited, and then that goes away, and then you're just a normal guy.
Yeah, you've lost that.
You just, so people don't have the coping mechanisms for that, and I think that is what's missing in a lot of coaches. A lot of coaches coach for your sport and coach for what you could achieve, and you could be the greatest Gaelic foosballer that ever lived, but they don't coach you for life after, or life when you have an injury and you're just sidelined or whatever. Sidelined, that's
a good
football term.
Yes, football term.
Oh.
Funny, that's talking about this. I must actually say, I haven't told you as well, but I know I am going to run a workshop. It's going to be in raw performance, and I've teamed up with a guy, Richard Gormley from the University of Ulster, and we're doing a bit of work because our philosophies kind of link, and that's what it's all about. It's about coaching, especially for coaches, teachers. It's coach the person, not the sport.
Yeah.
You realise that only 99.9% of people who participate in sport, they're going to be finished at around 30 odd. 99.9% of them are going to be not going to make it to the professional level.
Yeah.
So rather than thinking I'm going to make this one person, or this person needs this drive because they've got the potential, I'm going to, spoiler alert, it's not going to happen. Okay, now I'm not saying it's not going to happen. That's wrong. It could happen, but if you focus on making that your athlete, or whatever you want to call it, a better person, two things: if they don't make it, then they're a better person. But if they do make it, they're a better person for making it as well too. So when they come out the other end, then they can go, well, I remember my coach told me about that. Actually, I didn't get here through talent. I got here through hard work and putting in extra practice. So whenever I go now and I go into a job or I run my own business, I know what I have to put in to go and get that. But really, some kids do get sidetracked because they think and they be told, oh, you're only doing that because you're really talented. Yeah. And that's what they think is, hard work didn't get to here, it's my talent really. And it can go that way, whereas they can get right through just with talent alone to a certain point, but eventually then they don't reach their full potential.
There's a good book called Talent is Overrated, and a part of that book they're talking about that golfer guy, what do you call him? You like sport? Tiger Woods.
That golfer guy. One of the most famous person in the world.
I know when I've read this book, and this whole analogy is about Tiger Woods. But Tiger Woods was always renowned for his talent, and they were like, he's the most talented, and he just had it in him. But his dad was relentless. Like his dad, from Tiger could sit in a wee bouncer. His dad had him out in the garage, watching him drive balls and putt balls, and he, instead of giving him like normal toys to play with, he gave him like golf balls, and he gave him different wee tiny golf clubs and stuff. So he's had that his entire life. So whenever he hits pro and he's come out, and it's like overnight success. Everybody's an overnight success, but it took him, like, he was doing that from a baby. Watching it was all that was in him to do. The same as even Rory McIlroy. I remembered him. He's from our country. Like he was on Jerry Kelly doing
knocking it into the washing machine.
Exactly. So
but that's it. We're getting into massive debate here. Something that I would read a lot about, and talking a little bit about talent and nature and nurture, and there's so many books out there. Bounce and the gene code, and
Bounce is a brilliant book as well.
10,000 hour rule, all this here. Ericsson from Ericsson. So that's a big one, because then you have the side effects of that, early specialization, about the amount that his dad put it in. But the good thing, whenever you read about the Roger Federer, Serena Williams sisters,
they played
tennis, and Tiger, it was always something I read in them books, was the fact that it was always their choice. Yes, their parents were there, and them, you could call it pushy, but it was always, okay, are we going to practice now? So it may have been instilled in them, but they knew they wanted to do it, and that's That's a big thing. Again, we've went way off topic.
Well, also,
I think we
fits
could
the
talk.
same
I think we
because-
could talk about this.
we could do that.
Could next week.
Aye. But even back to fear, like you're. But whenever the parents are pushy, the kids then become afraid of letting their parents down. They
Yeah.
become afraid of letting their coach down, and it doesn't become about them or the sport. It becomes about them doing what their parents or whatever is forcing them to do. And you get chatting to some of them. Like I chat to a few of the kids I've worked with. Their parents have brought them to me for sport related mindset training. And then I get chatting to them when the parents are out of the room. I might get the parent to go make tea or something, and I'll say, "So, what is it you actually like about this sport? Why do you want to be the best in the world at this sport?" And they'd be like, "Oh, well, Mum says that if I be the best in the world, at this," and they're like, "Well, what do you want?" "I want to be an astronaut." I'm like, fair enough. So they mightn't be in it for the right reasons as well. So when you coach the person and not the sport, you're learning about them and what they like. You could still, if you were a real pushy parent and really wanted them to be a jazz flute champion.
Jazz flute.
Jazz flute. I was just thinking Anchorman, I don't know why jazz flute came in my head. But if you wanted them to achieve that, you could use that as an example. Like the easiest example I use is whenever parents come to me and they say the kids won't eat vegetables. How do I get them eating vegetables? And I say, find out who their superhero, sport, whatever it is, Batman, Superman, Federer, whatever. And then make a meal and say, I know you really love George Clooney and he's the best Batman you've ever seen. He's not, like, but you know what I mean? This is the type of meal George Clooney ate so he could become Batman. So I thought that's what, if you want to be him, that's what you should eat. And then you're not saying, eat them vegetables and eat this healthy meal. You're going, eat this and then you become Roger Federer. And then they're like, that's his name, Roger. So then they're going to eat that without having to think. So you could still do that in sport if you want them to excel at it and you think they're good at it. But sort of tricking them into thinking it's all their idea. So who's your favorite version of? Oh, he did that. You know, like Jackie Chan, for example. I love Jackie Chan. He used to play badminton all the time for movements. So whenever I was practicing martial arts, any chance I got to play badminton, I played it. So if my parents had wanted to get me into badminton, that would have been a good way of getting me in, because they're going, that's his only other sport.
It's like, I think people can turn around and get that point maybe, and that's a good thing with sports, is that they can see somebody or something. Maybe it could be something simple as he's the same name as me, and he's like the best basketball player in the world, and maybe I want to get basketball. And if your kid does do that, try and don't put that flame out just because you didn't play basketball and you played football. The size that be. But I think no, it's a table. I think this is obviously a massive area of mine, and I think it's a good one next, because a topic maybe for next week to talk about. One of the most important times for you to be a parent, for a coach, is the car journey home.
Yeah,
it is by shouting onto the pitch and you're doing there, which you shouldn't be doing, because children don't take that info and let them go, let them learn, let them make mistakes. But it's how you talk to them in the car can determine so much, and you can learn so much from them and they'll learn so much from you. And it's not about the first question, did you win or did you lose? Something like that is, did you have fun today? You know, that first question, did you have fun today? Because they could be maybe getting in the car going, oh, my dad was watching that, I'm going to be so anxious. Well, Woody, did you enjoy that? No, I didn't. No problem. Well, you know what? And then you could turn around and say, but I love the part of the game. See, when you ran for that ball, you didn't quite get it. It went out. But see that work? That was unbelievable. Yeah. And they'd be like, yeah, no, it was good. And literally, you could just not talk. And then you've set an environment for them rather than going, let's see that pass that you went for there. You should actually hit it across to whatever. Okay, you're not getting you're just pitting them down. But that's a whole other topic.
Even just as a parent, even if you're terrible at sport, ask the coach. Like at halftime or something, or some chance you get with a coach. Like, you mightn't have a clue about football or passes or whatever. I worked with a lot of parents whenever I was over in London teaching Kung Fu. And when they would spar and stuff, the parent would come to me and say, I didn't do it that thing.
You didn't do it?
The parent would, what? You didn't see it. The parent would say to me, like they would ask me, Liam, go on, what should I say to him? Like, what move did they do there that was good that I could say something about? And then I'd say, oh, just say to him, he's very good. His roundhouse kick's really well timed. It would be good if he could time his front kick to his roundhouse. To the parent, that made no sense. But when they say to the kid, oh, I loved watching you spar. You were brilliant, and your wee roundhouse kick was amazing. You should do that with your front kick, and they're just moving like I moved. It makes no sense. But then the kid thinks they're really paying attention and they understand what's going on, and they're really enthused about what they're doing. Instead of coming in going, did you win or lose, or how did you get on with that? So I think that is a massive topic. We went off. I think
we're maybe cutting that next week because I have to go and take circuit class next week as well.
that he's going to actually show up for.
Oh,
relying on his sister to get him.
I know. Oops. Thanks, Lisa. So
You're the
yeah,
best.
I think that'll be us round off. Well, hopefully the sound was good in us, and we can maybe do this outside a bit more. It's a nice bit idea, isn't it?
I like it.
I like it idea. And we were doing handstands earlier, so we were
Brilliant.
we're gonna try and maybe see if we could nail them again. Be like a happy pair. Oh, I bought their book by the way too.
I bought
It's
their
coming.
book too, but
I
then
made their chickpea curry. Check it out on YouTube. 5 minutes. Awesome.
I bought the book and then gave it to my brother because he's a
He's gonna
deadly cook, and I was like, here, make them things, make the coconut things, Sean, because you've had the book for like 3
Just
days.
get the Sean like just no Sean. No, whenever you open up the book, it's all marked out. And it might say Liam's favorite on it.
Folded back.
They signed that for you. They signed that.
Yeah,
yeah.
so yeah, I think
We're good. So Charlie and anybody else, let us know if that helped. I know we rambled on, but hopefully it sparks on because that's all I need to take. It takes one. Oh, you know what? That's what I'm going to go for. You know, hey, look, we don't have all the answers. The
I do,
majority of them. Majority of them.
like,
You have them all.
all of them.
Okay.
Google. I've Google in
There
my
you
phone.
go.
Google
I have
Pedia.
Siri in there as well. So
You could just ask
that's
her.
Siri.
Google
What do
it.
you call it? Alexa.
Alexa.
But so yeah, guys. So it's that's we do our thing. It's bye for me.
And bye for me.
Bye.
My right there.
Bye, 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 bye.
Handstand, so it's don't stop.
I can't do that. You try to do it. I'll try it. Can't do it. See, just do my hands up. Will it work?
Pretty much.
Is that it off?
No, because your phone.
Oh, it's locked.